The mirror is in front of you in a dark room. Now, in a dark room, you are before a mirror. Can you see your face? No, because light is not falling on your face. Therefore, you will not be visible in the mirror. Even though if you are visible, it will be very dim. Now, point a torch towards the mirror so that light falls on the mirror, which you hold up as shown in the figure, and try to see your image in the mirror. Now, look at the picture. Here there is a small girl. She is facing the torchlight on the mirror. Now, can you see your face on the mirror? Yes, absolutely correct. You cannot see your face on the mirror because light is not falling on your face and it is reflecting in mirror. Light is falling on mirror. Therefore, you will be very dim. Now, then turn the torch towards your face as shown in the figure and try to see your image in the mirror. Now, you see here the girl is lighting her face by keeping a torch. Now, she can able to see the brighter image in the mirror because light falling on her face is reflecting in the mirror. Therefore, she can see a bright image when compared to the earlier case. Now, in which case is your image clear? In the first case or second case? Yes, in the second case. Whenever the girl is lighting her face with the help of the torch, then only you can see clear image because light is falling on your face. You will find that when light is focused on your face, you can see your image clearly in the mirror. You can also notice that when light is focused on the mirror, you find a dim image as seen in the figures just now. To see any object, light should fall on it. It is the fundamental condition. Dear children, you remember this. Whenever an object is visible, that means light is falling on it. That light is again reflecting into your eyes. Then only you can see that object. Otherwise, you cannot see that object. Now, in daytime, we were able to see all objects which are in our room, even though sunlight does not fall directly in those objects. Now, it is common phenomenon in our houses. We will be inside the house, but direct sunlight will not fall in our house. But objects are visible in our house. Why it is so? Yes, you are right. The reason is the light is being reflected from the small holes like ventilators, windows and doors. Therefore, you are visible. Now, the multiple reflections of sunlight from the surfaces like wall, floor, ceiling, etc. finally falls on the object and gets reflected by it and reaches our eye. Therefore, we can see the object. How light reflects after striking an object? Now, children, let us see small example here. We need to understand about light rays to know how light is reflected after striking an object. It is very easy. Now, always light rays. Now, how do you find a light ray? How it will be? Now, in the form of an activity, we will see that now the activity is rays of light. How we can find the ray of light? Now, take a mirror strip and a black paper. Now, here is a mirror strip and there is a black paper. Now, what you have to do with this? Now, put a small hole on the mirror. It is not possible. Therefore, what you have to do? You have to roll the black paper towards the mirror, and you have to keep some space open like this in the figure. Now cover the mirror strip with black paper and cut 1 mm wide slit in the black paper. Now you see, now just this part will be remain, entire part of the mirror is rolled with black paper. 1 mm space only left, it is small gap, it acts like a slit. Now hold the mirror strip with the slit facing the sun as shown in the figure. Now you see, now here is a sun and there is a mirror. Now what is happening here, one ray of light is traveling towards the mirror, that means only one ray. Now how we can see, from this end we are getting only one ray out of it. Now we can find the ray of light like this small experiment. Now you will see some light coming through the slit. Now let this light fall on the sheet of paper spread on the ground. Now light coming from such slit or any other small hole looks like ray of light. Just now we have seen there is a small slit on the mirror through which light is coming out, now in the form of a ray, that is nothing but a beam of light or a ray of light. Now you can see ray of light will be like this, we will represent light ray with a symbol of an arrow. Now let us observe how light ray reflects. Now you see, here there is source of a light through which one small slit is there on the source of this light, through which is light coming out falling on this mirror. It is a glass slab actually, but it is covered with an opaque object backside, therefore it is acting like a mirror. Now small rays of light, 1, 2, 3, 4 rays of light falling on here, again 1, 2, 3, 4 rays of light are reflecting back. Now light ray always travels in straight line, whenever it falls on mirror it gets reflected. Place a blank sheet of paper on the ground such that part of it's in the sunlight, another part of it is in the shadow. Hold the mirror strip with the slit facing the sun. Now let a ray of light from the slit fall on the paper. Now take another mirror strip and place it in the path of this light ray such that the ray coming from the first mirror falls on the second mirror as shown in the figure below. Now you see here it is our mirror having a slit and it is a plane mirror. The light from the sun falling, sunlight is falling from the source, and again from this slit light ray is entering into this path and falling on the surface of the mirror, and from there it is reflected back. It is the reflected light, it is the incident light. The light ray which is falling on the mirror is called ray of incidence. The light ray which is reflected and coming away from the mirror is called reflected ray. Now you see incident ray. Now this is reflected ray, that means the light which is moving towards the mirror is nothing but incident ray. The light which is coming out of the mirror, it is called reflected ray. Now you see here there is a source of light from which through the small slit light is falling on this mirror and again it is reflected back. It is a not mirror, it is a glass slab. Some portion is refracted and some portion is reflected. Now children, did you understand the difference between refraction and reflection? Now here reflection is nothing but on touching this mirror, the light ray is again coming out in another direction. Now, this is incident ray, this is reflected ray. Now, this effect of the mirror strip on the ray of light is called reflection. Therefore, this phenomenon is called reflection. The falling of incident light on the mirror again reflecting back, this phenomenon is nothing but reflection. A ray of light falling on the mirror is called the incident ray. The ray of returning from mirror is called reflected ray. Is there any relationship between the direction of incident ray and the direction of reflected ray? Is there any relationship? Yes, we will see now in the form of an activity 4. Now, take a sheet of blank paper, all of you take a sheet of blank paper and draw a line segment AC and draw another line at right angles, that means 90 degrees, with the help of protractor to the line segment AC. Now, the second line should intersect the line segment AC at point B. We will call this line as normal. Now, we will see in the form of a diagram. Now, I will draw a diagram on the blank paper. Let us see. Now, it is nothing but a line segment AC. Now, I have drawn a normal, that means a perpendicular line to it. Now, it is the line segment AC, and here the line segment normal is meeting the line segment AC at point B. This line is called normal, this is the AC. Now, it is nothing but mirror. You see how I have drawn by using a protractor. Now, here it is a mirror, it is the plane surface. Always normal will be 90 degrees. With the help of a set square or with the help of a protractor, you can draw a normal, a straight line. Now, this line B, which is meeting AC at B, this line is called normal. It is basic in learning the law of reflection. Now, draw two lines from point B on the left side of the normal to on the right side. The line should be at angles of 30 and 60 degrees respectively from the normal. Number these lines as 1, 2, 3, 4. That means, children, here we have already drawn a normal for the plane surface. Here left hand side we have to draw two rays as ray 1 and ray 2, which will be of 30 degrees, and right side of this normal there will be two lines, they will be 3 and 4, which will be of 30 and 60 degrees. Now, see, it is the normal and it is the incident ray, and how it is reflecting, and line 1 is coming out after reflection as line 4. Now, what is the incident ray here? Incident ray for ray 1 is, and reflected ray is ray 4. What is the reflected ray for ray 1? It is nothing but ray 4. Now, it is the ray 2, and how it is reflected? And it is reflected as ray 3. Here incident ray is ray 2 and reflected ray is ray 3. Now, I am drawing a normal. Now, you see. Now, let us measure these angles. With measurement only we have drawn now. Afterwards, we will verify this one. Now, here there is a angle, here there is a angle for ray 2 is the incident ray and ray 3 is the reflected ray. Now, what is the reflected ray for ray 1? It is ray 4. Now, what are the angles? See here, for ray 2 the angle is 30 degrees with the normal. For ray 3 it is also 30 degrees. By this we have seen that whenever ray 2 after touching the surface again reflecting, what is the incident angle here? Here it is 30 degrees. Now here with what deviation it is coming out? With the same 30 degrees. That means here angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Now let us observe in the case of ray 1, here it is 60 degrees. Now ray 1 is reflected in the form of ray 4. Now what is the angle between normal and ray 4? It is 60 degrees. By this we can conclude that angle of incidence equal to angle of reflection. For ray 1 angle of incidence is 60 degrees. For ray 4 angle of reflection is 60 degrees. For ray 2 angle of incidence is 30 degrees. For ray 3 angle of reflection is 30 degrees. Therefore, angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. It is the law of reflection. Now you see, the angle between the normal and the incident ray is called as angle of incidence. It is always represented with the letter small I with the symbol angle. Here I before there is a symbol, this symbol is symbol of angle. It is nothing but angle of incidence. Now angle between normal and the reflected ray is called angle of reflection. Now you see here angle R, this is nothing but it is the angle of reflection. It is between normal and reflected ray. Now you see again there is a angle of incidence, how it is reflecting? It is reflecting like this. Now let us see the angle I equal to angle R, that is angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. Now adjust the mirror shape with the slit so that the light ray falling along the normal, then the angle of incidence is 0. Now look at this condition, children. Whenever you allow the light ray, it is always passing through the normal. Now you observe with the help of this picture, you will understand. Now you see here, now how our reflected ray went through the normal incident ray. Again how it is reflected? It is reflected out from the normal only. That means here first our incident ray is flowing like this through the normal. How it is reflecting? Same angle it is coming back. Again reflected ray is also coming in the same normal. What happened? Where did you find the reflected ray? Initially we cannot see the reflected ray in the earlier case. Now through the ray of incidence only the reflected ray is coming out. Now here whenever the angle of incidence is 0, angle of reflection is also 0. Reflected ray is also coming along the same path. The same path, that means incident ray is travelling through the normal and reflected ray is also coming through the normal. That means here angle of incidence is 0, angle of reflection is also 0 when compared to the normal. Now you see here, already we have seen this. Now ray 1, how it is coming out? Angle of incidence is 60, angle of reflection is 60, both are same. For ray 2, incident ray is ray 2 and reflected ray is ray 3. What is the angle of incidence? 30 degrees. What is the angle of reflection? It is 30 degrees. This means angle of reflection is always equal to angle of reflection. Now you see the tabular column for that now, small tabular column. Now where is the incident ray? On line 1, just now we have observed the figure. What is the angle of incidence? It is 60 degrees. What is the reflected ray? For this incident ray 1, is ray 4. What is the angle of refraction? 60 degrees. Now, incident ray is ray 2. What is the angle of incidence? It is 30 degrees. Now, where it is reflecting? Now, incident ray 2 is reflected as incident reflected ray 3. What is the angle of reflection? 30 degrees. Always we measure angle with respect to normal, not with respect to the surface. This you should remember. Now, whenever incident ray is passing through the normal, what is the angle of incidence? It is 0. Where will you find reflected ray? It is also coming through the normal. That means angle of reflection is also 0. Now, do you see any relationship between the angle of incidence and angle of reflection? Yes, always the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Now, state this relationship in the form of a rule. That rule is nothing but law of reflection. Children, you observe very carefully. Now, reflection of light on a plane mirror, how it will be reflected? Just you see, this is a plane surface, it is a mirror. Now, a line is incidenting, it is incident ray. Now, what is the angle of incidence? Incident ray is called as I. Now, it is reflecting on touching the mirror. Now, this is reflected ray. What is this reflected ray? It is represented with the symbol R. Draw a line perpendicular to the surface. It is normal. Now, measure the angle between normal and incident ray. It is nothing but our I. Now, measure the angle between reflected ray and normal. It is nothing but R. Now, you see angle of incidence. It is angle of reflection. Now, you see reflected angle is denoted with the R. Now, we will measure the angle I and angle R with the help of a protractor. Now, you see the protractor is coming. Now, you observe what is the angle of incidence here? 0, 10, 20, 40, 30. Now, angle of incidence is how much here? Angle of incidence is 40 degrees. Now, we will measure the reflected ray angle. Now, you see here 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. Now, what is the angle of reflection here? Reflected ray, it is angle R is equal to 40 degrees. Now, children, have you observed? This we can now we verified experimentally with the help of a protractor. Always angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Angle I is equal to angle R. Now, we will state in the form of a law. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Angle I is equal to angle R. Now, this is nothing but law of reflection. Now, what we have learnt in this section? We have learnt about the ray of light, how a ray of light coming through a slit, and how to measure incident ray, and how to calculate the reflected ray, and what is the angle of incidence, and what is the angle of reflection. That all we have learnt in today's class. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. We denote angle of incidence with angle I and angle of reflection with angle R. Measure of angle of incidence is equal to measure of angle of reflection. Now, children, today we will take small assignment after this session. Now, let us go to the question. If two incident rays from angles of 20 degrees and 45 degrees respectively with the normal, what will be the angles formed by the reflected rays with the normal? Here there is a with angle of incidence is 45 degrees. Now, look at the question. Draw the reflected ray in the figure given here. Now, look at the reflected ray. Now, with what angle it will be formed? You need to draw by using the protractor. How do you relate angle of reflection and angle of incidence? What will be the angle of reflection when angle of incidence is 60 degrees and 0 degrees? Children, in the next session we will have more fun about light. Thank you.